tomorrow. Doorbells all over the United States. You're laughing already. Will ring, and both adults and children will stand outside saying, trick or treat. All ages love Halloween because they get a chance to pretend to become for a brief time a different persona. Let me give you an example of yours truly. In 2005. Becoming a different persona for the camera, so that we might have no one looking at this again. This was me in 2005. And Dora from Bewitched. Little audio videos, So do I know how to walk in 6-inch stilettos? Yes, I do. God has given all of us huge imaginations. And with a little cloth, or in my case, a lot of cloth, or makeup here, or a mask there, we can be anyone our minds tell us that we are. Technology and the advances in TV shows and movie production have taken most of the chances to imagine out of our lives today. But Halloween is one of the few opportunities still there for our imaginations to soar. The only problem I always have had with Halloween is when it becomes a glorification of evil. Perhaps there are instances when that is exactly how people react. You know yourselves, great time for toilet papering, egging, putting stuff in brown paper bags and setting it on fire at people's doors. Not that I ever did any of those things. But these, I hope, are at a minimum. For most of us, Halloween is just an opportunity for us to dress up, make believe, and have fun, and eat too much candy. Now you're probably saying, what the heck does this have to do with today's reading? I'm getting there. Putting on a mask and pretending is perfectly acceptable for us, especially on Halloween. But putting on a mask and pretending is not acceptable for a follower of Jesus Christ. God is not satisfied with people imagining that they are great followers of Christ. We are not called to appear to be holy people. We are called to be a holy people. In today's gospel, Jesus gives the examples of the Pharisees. He says they wear, and I'm doing a little bit of comparing to Halloween and also taking a little bit of license here. He says they wear all the holy costumes, headbands, and tassels in front of their eyes containing inscriptions from Scripture. The reason why they did that is because in Scripture God says, keep my words always before your eyes. So when the Pharisees moved their heads, they could see the words of Scripture, thereby keeping God's words before their eyes. According to Jesus, these Pharisees went trick-or-treating, if you will, to all the important banquets so that everybody would see them. That's all they really wanted, to be seen. They were just putting on a show. They knew how to hold up their arms in prayer. They said the proper pious prayers and performed the required rituals. They pretended to be holy, but they were not holy. God looks at us and sees many of us trick-or-treating. He might see a religious leader wearing a nice pious costume, and saying all the proper things, but carrying on immoral and perhaps even illegal actions that could not come from the soul of a true follower of Christ. He might look at a mother and father who quickly proclaim their Christianity, but in reality act as though this is just a costume, covering over someone who is not open to God in his or her life. The Lord can look at a homebound person who pretends to be a kindly elderly grandmother or grandfather, but who is really carrying years of hate within him or her. On the weekend after the children say boo, we are faced with some of the most frightening words in Scripture. We are told to fight against our own hypocrisy. How can we do this? For one thing, we cannot demand more from others than we demand from ourselves. As a priest, I cannot demand that others fulfill their worship obligations if I don't fulfill mine. I cannot demand that others tithe if I don't tithe the same Dorothy. I cannot demand that others fight against immorality if I partake in immorality. You cannot demand that others be kind and caring if you are mean to that daughter-in-law or son-in-law that you never liked. If you are young, you cannot claim to be a Christian if you are nasty to other people. If you are still in school, you cannot claim to be a Christian if you join those kids who hurt other kids in school in your class. We cannot demand that others be good Catholics if you destroy people's reputations on the phone or through the net. Secondly, we can avoid being a hypocrite if we take responsibility for our own lives rather than entrust it to others. We cannot be satisfied with saying we are a follower of this or that person, be it a priest or a figure on TV or whomever, and let the person determine our lives. We have the ability to set our own course of our own lives. We have free will. We must take responsibility for our faith lives. Call no man father, rabbi, teacher, means call no man guru. If we have a guru, then we won't take responsibility for what we do. We call our priest father, and that they are to be the head of the family in our parishes. But we do not give our priest a position of guru. At least I hope not. In the olden days, many did. Entrusting them with the responsibility for our lives. We entrust our lives to God and to God only. Only Christ can be our guide. And that brings us back right to where we started. If you and I can find the courage to let Jesus be our guide, if every aspect of our lives reflect the presence of Jesus, then we would not be wearing masks, but would really and truly be followers of Christ. Halloween is a day of fun and pretending for all of us. Following Jesus is the serious work of people who are willing to expose their faces and their lives to the world. May the grace of Christ on the cross, which we receive in the Eucharist, give us the ability to fully live our Christianity.